So, first of all, thank you so much for joining in on today's webinar. It promises to be exciting. I think our speakers are already in the room, so we'll just probably give a few minutes to some attendees to join in, and then we'd kick start. Oh, hi, Eamon. I see you, Eamon.
Hi.
Yeah, how are you doing? Is it a good day?
Yes, it's always a good day.
Glad to know. So we're going to wait about just some 5 minutes for um, some of our people to join in, registered attendees, and then we can kick start. Yeah, super, super thrilling moment we're going to have today. Nonetheless, in the meantime, can we drop the flags of the countries we are joining in from? I know some people are from Ghana. I know some people are from Nigeria. So, I just be glad if you can drop the flags of the respective countries you're joining in from. And Amen, it will be bad to see us as well as Cabo. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Please, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Sir Bukan. Okay, so I see Eunice joining in from Ghana. I see Iman from Tunisia. Please, by way of an icebreaker, I see Douglas from Ghana. Okay, I'm actually joining from the United States of Ghana. Yeah. All right, Douglas, thank you. Oh, Romania, Europe. Thank you, Sepulkan. I hope I'm getting your name right. Sepulkan, right?
Yes, you're right.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. I was hoping I didn't butcher that. I see Doreen Abella from Malta. Fantastic. Oh, hi. I see Cheryl. I see Pakusi. I mean, please let's drop our country flags. Yes, we have about 2 minutes more to wait for a few people to join in and then we kickstart. Yeah. Okay, Abdul Razak is joining in from Libya. Wow, interesting. We have ourselves an international webinar on here because Europe, Africa, it's some amazing places. Yeah. So we wait for 2 more minutes and then we go. Just 2 more minutes. Okay. So we have a few more new people joining in. Okay, I see Kwame J joining in from Ghana. Yeah, that's Calvin, one of our resource persons for today. 60 more seconds. All right. I think I'm going to kickstart now. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining in to today's August webinar. I'm pretty much excited. Please let me know in the chat space if you can hear me clearly, or perhaps you're getting any feedback from my end, please. Perhaps a thumbs up or any comment as to if I'm audible enough, please. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Stephen. Means you can hear me, sorry, loud and clear. So thank you so much for joining today's webinar, and it promises to be exciting. Like the topic says, let's talk JIRA. Yeah. We are here to discuss JIRA in and out and various things that actually pertain to this wonderful project management tool. I mean, it doesn't just sit at the barrier of project management, but even extends, and that is what we are here to actually discuss. I have my competent resource persons already joined in. There's Iman joining in all the way from Tunisia, and there's Calvin joining all the way from the United States of Ghana. Today is going to be pretty much interesting. So, all right, that's him. That's Calvin. And so, hi Calvin. Hi Iman. How are we doing?
Hi, everyone.
Hi Calvin. Can you hear me, please?
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon from Ghana. I'm excited to be here.
Great. I'm also excited to be. I must say. All right. So without much ado, I think I'll let Iman and Calvin give some short introductions, and we quickly go right into the program. So please, who goes first? Calvin, Iman. What do you say?
Okay, this is Iman Harazi. I'm from Tunisia, and I work as a business development representative for onpoint. Very
Fantastic.
nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you too, Iman. All right.
Yes, and I'm Calvin Enimofori. I'm from Ghana. I work with onpoint as an Atlassian consultant. And as I said earlier, I'm excited to be here. So let's talk to you.
Okay, let's talk JIRA. Fantastic. Before we kickstart, please, can someone help me with exactly what JIRA is, even before I let Iman step in? I mean, could you just give us a small chat in the chat session, what you've heard about JIRA, what you know about JIRA, and just putting something there in the chat section, and then we'd have a very beautiful start. And yeah. All right. So while we text what we know about JIRA, what we've heard, I mean, exactly what you've heard about it, being it a software, again, whichever it is, just type in the chat box. And I'll pass on to Iman to take us through the very first half of today's session. And yeah, promises to be exciting. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. And I'm your host, Joseph Gordon, and I'll come your way again. Thank you. Over to you, Iman.
Thank you so much. Okay, before we start, can you please share the screen? Just a few seconds until we share the screen and we start. Okay, guys, sorry, we have just small technical issue with sharing the screen. We'll solve it as quickly as possible. Okay. Okay, so you can hear me clearly? My voice is clear?
Yes, yes.
Okay, perfect. So, hello again, everyone. Welcome to Let's Talk JIRA webinar. And I'm really thrilled to have you all here today as we dive into the world of JIRA software. So, whether you are a seasoned pro or just starting, I promise you will walk away with valuable insights to level up your project management game. So, let's get started. But before that, let's take a quick look of what you'll be covering today's presentation. Next. Okay, so we will begin by discussing the challenges with traditional project management tools. Then we'll move on to introduce JIRA software. After that, we will explore the core functionality and the main features of JIRA software. Next. Okay, so with JIRA software, our aim is very simple: to make work less work. We understand the challenges that come with managing projects, and we believe that JIRA can help alleviate these pain points, making your work more efficient and more enjoyable. And throughout this webinar, we will find out how. Next. So, with traditional project management tools often come with their fair share of challenges, from lack of transparency because they rely heavily on manual updates and fragmented system. For instance, imagine a project manager using spreadsheets to track tasks and timeline, and the team member updating their progress independently. This will lead to inconsistency and delays in reporting. Without a centralized platform for collaboration and communication, team members would struggle to access up to date information. And this will result in a lack of transparency into the project status and project roadblock. Siloed communication. This occurs when team members communicate exclusively within their respective departments or team without cross functional collaboration. For instance, let's consider a software development project where developers one tool for task management, while the marketing team would use a separate tool for campaign planning. So, without integrated communication channels, developers may not be really aware of the upcoming marketing initiative, and this will lead to misalignment. Then we have difficulty in tracking progress, and this arises in many cases due to the manual processes and the lack of real-time updates. And finally, we have a limited adaptability to change with these traditional tools. So all these difficulties can significantly hinder efficiencies and also productivity in your projects. Next. So now let's enter Jira software. This is the solution to project management. Developed by Atlassian, Jira software is a really powerful tool designed to streamline task management, collaboration, and workflow automation. It's trusted by teams across various industries to plan, track, and manage projects effectively. In fact, it's been chosen by around like 100,000 organizations by now. Next. Now let's take a closer look at some of Jira's software core functionality that would make it stand out from the other. First, we have versatility. How? Well, Jira software can adapt to various project management methodology, serving teams across different industry and project types. So whether your teams follow traditional waterfall, agile, Scrum, Kanban, or even hybrid approach, Jira software provides the flexibility to accommodate to your preferred methodology seamlessly. For instance, team practicing agile methodology can benefit from Jira sprint planning and backlog prioritization, and this will enable them to iterate and deliver value incrementally. On the other hand, teams adhering to the waterfall model can utilize Jira's customizable workflow and milestones to track progress through distinct phases of their project lifecycle. Next, we have user interface. In Jira software, core functionality is its user interface, and this stands out for its intuitive design, facilitating seamless navigation and enhancing the overall user experience. The interface is crafted to be user-friendly, and it ensures that the team member of all technical proficiencies can easily navigate the platform. With a clean and organized layout, users can quickly locate and access the feature they need, reducing the learning curve and also promoting productivity. Let's take, for example, the dashboard. This dashboard provides a centralized view of the project progress, task, and also notification. And this allows users to stay informed and focused on their priority. Additionally, Jira's intuitive design extends to its search functionality, making it effortless for users to find any relevant information and collaborate effectively through a simple search. Scalability also is really important. It's the ability to scale from small teams to large enterprises easily. Jira is designed to grow alongside your organization, accommodating increased project complexity, team size, and user requirements without sacrificing any performance or functionality. For example, small teams can start with a basic setup in Jira, utilizing essential features like task management and collaboration. As the organization expands, Jira offers advanced capabilities and customization options to meet the changing needs of a larger team and complex projects. So, whether you are a startup with a handful of employees or even a multinational corporation with thousands of users, Jira's scalable architecture ensures that you can continue to leverage its full suite of tools and functionality to drive productivity and success at any scales you have. And finally, we have a collaboration hub, and this serves as a centralized platform for promoting efficient team collaboration. So, by providing a single hub where team members can communicate, share information, and coordinate tasks, for example, Jira's project board enables team to visualize workflows and track progress. Also, features like comments, add mentions, and also notifications will facilitate real-time communication and feedback. And this will ensure that everyone in the team will stay engaged and well informed throughout the project lifecycle. Jira also integration with other Atlassian products like Confluence and Bitbucket further enhance this collaboration. So, by seamlessly connecting project management with documentation, code repository, and also other essential tools. Next. Okay, and now let's move on to the set of features that Jira software offer. First, we have integration. Jira software can integrate seamlessly with various tools and platforms like Slack, Microsoft Teams, Salesforce, and many others. And of course, all the other products of Atlassian. Next. Next, we have customizability. With its flexible customization option, Jira software can easily suit all your project requirements. Next. Here we can find that Jira is an advocate for agile project management with its Scrum and also Kanban frameworks. Next. And here finally we have that Jira software facilitates collaboration among teams from different departments with its cross-functional use feature. And all these functionality makes Jira software stand out from the other tools. Next. Okay, and now by implementing the following best practices that I'm going to mention, teams can easily maximize the effectiveness of Jira software as a project management tool. And this will foster collaboration, increase productivity, and also deliver successful outcomes. So let's get started. First, we have task management. So implement agile boards such as Scrum or Kanban to visualize tasks, prioritize work, and track progress effectively. Also, break down complex tasks into smaller, manageable subtasks, making it easier to assign, track, and complete work. And here you can use the Jira subtask feature to divide large tasks into actionable items and assign them to different team members for better clarity and accountability. Second, we have collaboration. And here we encourage team to collaborate by using comments, add mentions within Jira issues to discuss tasks, provide feedback, or even like seek updates. This will promote transparent communication and keeps relevant teams member informed. Also, you can integrate Jira with collaboration tools such as Confluence, as we mentioned, Slack, Microsoft Teams, and this will facilitate communication and information sharing. Let's take, for example, when you link Jira issues to Confluence pages for detailed documentation, or you can also receive real-time notification in Slack when in Slack channels when you link Jira with Slack. And finally, we have workflow automation. And here you can tailor your workflow in Jira to reflect your team's specific processes and requirements. You can customize status, transition, condition, all of this to automate repetitive tasks and ensure consistency in workflow execution. And also, you can leverage on Jira's automation capability to automate routine action. And this by creating rules to automatically assign tasks, send notification, all based on predefined triggers and condition. And with this, you will reduce manual efforts and also improve efficiency. So, next. So that's all. Thank you all for listening. I hope you found this presentation informative and insightful. Now I will hand it over to my colleague Calvin, who will walk you through a demo of Jira software.
All right, thank you very much, Eamon. That was very elaborate. And I mean, if by any course of the journey you have questions, please drop them in the chat box and we'll do all to
Yes,
address.
sure.
Yes, please. So would now have Calvin take us through the demo. Thank you very much. Well done, Amen. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Iman. So, as we've heard from Iman and from some of the comments that you have drawn, JIRA software is the industry standard for agile software project management. And so this is what they use to plan their work. Now, when teams have complex work or large work to do and have to deliver products, they are faced with three fundamental challenges. One is that they need to be able to plan their work. They need to be able to manage the tasks, to be able to manage dependencies, track dependencies across different tasks and different teams. And they also need to be able to visualize their work. And so in today's session, we're going to be looking at some of the features of JIRA software that help software teams to meet these challenges. So do keep these three challenges in mind as we go along, and hopefully as we go through, you'll be able to map some of the features onto the challenges that we have just talked about. I'll go ahead and share my screen so we have a very quick demonstration. Do let me know once you're able to see my screen.
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, all right. Also, just let me know if the things are legible, if you're able to read any of the things, or if I have to zoom in a little bit. Let's do a 125 zoom. I think this should be all right. Okay. So this is JIRA. When you log on to JIRA software, this is the first screen that the user will be met with. And this is called the Your Work screen. So this is basically where any team member can go to get like quick access to things for which they are responsible. So if we look at how this has been organized, it's been organized strategically. So you can see the tasks that you have worked on here, they're listed here, and they're also listed in a chronological order. You see here, you can see all the things that you have viewed. You see a board here, we see a project here. There's a story, other tasks, we've seen another project here. So you see a list of what you've interacted with as well, what you've viewed. And then we have things that have been assigned to you. Nothing's been assigned to me yet. So, or I've completed all my tasks, so there's 0 here. And then we have the ones that have starred, or the ones that have bookmarked. Those will be visible on this side. You can see right above here, we have recent projects. So these will be the projects that I've interacted with most recently. If I click this, view all projects, I will be able to see all other projects inside the JIRA platform to which I have access. So this is a list of all of them. It's very straightforward to create a project. We'll be diving into one of the software projects to see how software teams can use it. But I'll just quickly show how easy it is to create a project inside JIRA. And so you just create button, you click that. And then here we are met with a number of different templates that have been designed just based on how Atlassian has understood how teams work, different teams. And Iman touched on this, that JIRA is adaptable to different kinds of teams. So we have software development teams, there are service management teams. You see here product management teams, human resource marketing, different number of templates that have been designed specifically for these teams to get started very quickly with JIRA. And so there are many of them. And depending on the version of Jira that you have installed on your side, you'll have access to a number of these. So it may be limited by the versions that you have, but in this particular instance, we have access to all of them. So from this, we'll be looking at an example with the software development teams if you want to talk about software teams. And immediately we have these examples, these templates here from which we can choose. So if it's for backtracking, you can just quickly select it and you have a template. Immediately we can notice that workflows have already been designed with simple steps to do in progress and review and done. So that's positive. There are issue types or task types that we have here. So a number of them already come bundled with this. And then we have set up for us screens as well as fields. So all these are available. You just quickly use the template, give it a name, and you jump right into it. If you wanted to use a Scrum board or a Kanban board, it's the same thing. Select it, you get a template, predefined workflows. Now, these are not stuck. We can edit them, and we'll see later how we can do that. So this example will be using a Scrum type of project because it's a software team, and most software teams adopt the Agile methodology. And so this type of project is fantastic for it. So jump into a project that we have created already. So this is our mobile development project here. We'll touch on a number of the features on this side, and we'll see how the teams can use them to manage their work. And so here we have the timeline view. So you're able to visualize dates of your epics. And so epics in Jira just represent larger tasks that have to be broken down because they're not able to be completed within a sprint, for example. And so these are larger tasks that you have. And so you can plan them right from this side. You'll be able to create new ones. These are the ones that have been set up. And you see that this larger task here has been broken down into even smaller ones. So we have stories under this epic. So very quickly they have been created here. We can see this is a small progress bar here. This is blue, this is gray. So when you hover on it, it says 3 of 5 are in progress. On this side, we see that 2 of 5 are in the to-do status. And we can see all that here. So they're listed here. But look on this side, we see the timeline view. It visualizes this for us. So this is also in the spirit of being able to visualize your work as well as planning it. So you're planning it, but you're able to see how it looks from a broader view or from the top. So we see here, this, for example, has a start date, has an end date. There's a button here that represents a dependency. And so we can click on this to view the dependency. And it says here that user interface revisions blocks iOS platform updates. And so this particular task here is blocked by this, meaning that this has to be completed before this can be done. So right from inside here, we can set up our dependencies, and we can see a number of them as well. So if I expand this epic here, see more dependencies showing up here. So these lines represent the dependencies, and then we can just select them to have a very quick view of what the dependency actually is. If we look at the top here, we see sprints represented here. And so there's a mobile sprint 1. This is the active one. And so we see that it's highlighted in this light blue color. The other ones are not active yet, so they're in the gray. So you have this view. If you look right under here, we see versions. So version 1, version 2, version 3. Typically, software teams are building and they're testing and they're releasing versions. They're releasing features little by little. So you can represent these versions inside of Jira, and they show here. And so we'll see this later, but this version is set to be released on the 18th. So when hover here, we can see this. And there's a warning here. So if we click this warning, it tells us that it's 4 days overdue. Right. So this is just by way of being able to track, being able to visualize things from a top level. So right from here, the project manager or the product manager can just jump in here and be able to see that, okay, we're supposed to have released this, but for 4 days overdue, what do we need to do? We need to adjust the release date, etc. And so these are also available right from this view. Then we can adjust this. We can, using these toggles today, we can do 4 weeks. We can do for months. We can adjust the view to quarters. It's flexible. I'll just take this back to 2 weeks, to months, sorry. So that right from here, we can set up epics and start creating stories. And so with this button, I just create an epic and I'll say user management, something like this, user management. And right from here, I'm able to create the epic. Now I can break this down. So the product manager, the product owner, this can be broken down into stories. So here I can be able to select if I want to create a story, type of task, if it wants to be a task, or if I want to report a bug. So I'll just create a story, say story 1, press enter, and it's done. I go to story 2, the same, enter, it's done. Story 3, let's just do 3. And immediately we've created these. They're here, we can see that they're in the to-do status. And if we look here, this has been assigned to a user, Mitch Davis, and this is referring to the automations that Eamon spoke about. And so we have set up automations that automatically assign issues that are created in this project to Mitch. So until they have been reassigned to someone else, Mitch Davis is the default assignee. So immediately this has been assigned to him. And then we can adjust the dates for these. Right from here, we can set up dependencies. So for example, if we wanted to create a dependency from this page, we could just click this and connect it to this one. And we have created a dependency here. So it's a blocker. It says there's a warning down here, dates overlap. And so Jira is constantly monitoring what you're doing and then informing you, giving you warnings. So that's what this is. So we can just go back, adjust the dates, and this will be fixed. So once we're able to create the stories from this side, we can jump into the backlog. So this is basically the team's engine room. This is where the PM or the product owner will be strategizing and making decisions. What do we have to build first? To whom should something be assigned? Which sprint should a particular task be assigned to? What should be done last? Things like that. Who will be working on things? How many story points should be assigned to a particular story, etc. What priority should we put on something? This is where the team can set that up. So we have this view here. This is the backlog. So all the stories we created from the timeline view are available in this backlog. Here we see that we have not assigned any story points to them. So this is where we can do that. So this is depending on how the team sets this up, but we can do that immediately. We can adjust the priority from here. Automatically, they're set to medium. We can adjust, say this is high. This particular one, say this is low. Changing here, we can change the assignee right from inside here. So let's assign this to Alana Grant. Maybe we could assign this final one to Kwame. Assign this to Kwame. And so right from here in this backlog section, we're able to make these adjustments. If we want to enrich this further, we can just select this. It opens on the side. And we can assign story points from here. So say 2 story points. And it immediately appears here. We can do the same for this one. It's taking a while to load. Assign, say 3 story points to this one. And immediately it adjusts. And if we look on this side, still in the backlog section, we can see there's a summary here. 5 issues, total of 11 story points. Then we can create a sprint. So this is where you'll be able to create a sprint. If we notice here, we have created 3 sprints already. A number of them, this is an active sprint, as we can see. Then we look at this particular story is highlighted in this yellow, this one as well. So this is a flagging feature. We notice that there's a flag here. So we can flag issues or flag stories just to give extra attention to them, to emphasize that, okay, this needs critical attention or something. So you do that and it's highlighted here. So once you're able to do this, if you, let's say we want to create another sprint, that's that MOBL sprint 4, we can edit the sprint. Say we want this to last for 3 weeks. We should start, say, on the 23rd of April, and then the end date is automatically set up, and just go here, add a sprint goal, and update it. And immediately, the sprint is set up. We can select some of the issues or stories that we want to be available in this sprint. So we can just drag them in here. Yes, and there we have it. We have configured this sprint as well. There's one active. So once you've been able to do this, you set this up. On this side, if we see quickly, we see the epics, the large issues that we have created. We have a quick summary of them. So this particular one has 5 issues, and we can just see the details of this here. And again, we see this bar, this progress bar, gives us an indication of how the work is going on these individual epics. We can create an epic right from here as well. So that's positive. If we look here in this part of the sprint, we see that all these issues are tied to a version. But the other ones are not. And so we'll just look very quickly into releases. And this is where we configure the versions. And so here I've set up 3 versions, version 1, version 2, version 3. We see that in this particular version, we have a number of issues here. So 2 of them have been completed, they're done, 8 are in progress, and 7 are to do. And here this is red, meaning that we are past the release date. But we'll just leave it as it is. Open the version. See here that these are all the issues that are related to this version. And so all these tasks must be completed. The stories should have been set up, should have been completed and dealt with by that release date. And so once all that is ready and we're satisfied with it, then we'll be able to just release from here. So it says on release, we can click release, and this will indicate that these features have been released. So for this to have been done, all these would have to be in this particular state is done. So if everything is moved to done, then we can release. So that's the release. And just get a quick summary here of what's happening. 2 are done, 2 in progress, similar thing. And then we can configure approvers here as well. So here, Kwame is an approver. It says it's pending, and just click approve and approve it. So that's the release feature. And so let's go back into our backlog. Yeah, so we realized that it's only the version 1 that had issues attached to it. Version 2 doesn't, version 3 doesn't. So we just want to quickly, from our backlog, assign certain stories or certain tasks to a particular version, attach them so that we know that at this time we're releasing these features and these things should have been completed. So we can just look into some of them and say, okay, maybe this, that by the second sprint. So we select all these tasks in the second sprint, and then we use this edit feature. This allows us to do a bulk edit on all the issues. So instead of having to go into them one by one, we can just do a bulk edit. And here we want to change the fixed version. So we'll just do replace all, and I'll select version 2. Do next. We'll confirm this. So there's this box we can check here, send mail to for these updates. So you can check that and it will send an email that this has been updated, but we've ignored that for now. And immediately we can see that these are tied to version 2. If we jump very quickly back into our releases, we should be able to see now there are issues here. So we can see 3 are in progress, 8 are to do. So once these are completed as well, you can just quickly, there's an approver, approve it, you can click the release button, and that will be recorded inside JIRA. You can create a release very quickly from here. It's a fairly straightforward process. I'll skip this. So once we have these, we've set everything up in our backlog, then we can go into our active sprints. So this is where you have your Scrum board, and it displays all the issues in columns. These columns represent the various statuses in the workflow. And we see that in the template, it was a very simple workflow: to do, in progress, done. But here it's a little more complex. There's to do, architecture review, there's coding, testing, accepted. So we can configure this even after we've selected the template. We can configure, and that's what happened here. Configured this with these different statuses. When we look at this board, we're filtering this, or we're grouping the issues or the stories here by the main tasks, the epics here. So this epic, have all the issues in this epic that are in this active sprint on this side, and we see the statuses in which they are. So this is a grouping that we've done. We could group this in different ways by assignee or a particular query that we set. We can do this in the board configuration. So this is how this will look if we're filtering or if we're grouping by the epics. And we look at these, the individual issues. So this screen is mainly for the developers, those who are working on the tasks, who have to be writing code, etc. They will interact with this particular view, the active sprint. So they can just very quickly grab this. Grab this, drag it to the next phase. Once they've moved it, they can grab this if he's done, or if he's ready to move it, the developer just moves it. We can see some details here that we can explore. And so we see user interface revision. So it shows here the epic to which this belongs. We see the story points here. Here, there's some information about development, about coding that we'll look at a little later, but it says that there's one pull request that's open. So this also talks about the integration that you can do with JIRA, integrating with your development tools. And so there's Bitbucket, GitHub, whichever one that you use, you can connect it with your JIRA software project and be able to pull relevant information like that. And so as a product owner, you can come here and just very quickly, if you hover on this, you see that there's a pull request that's open, meaning that there's code that's still not been reviewed, it's not been approved, or whatever that's in there. So you have an idea what is happening. So there's a request, it's open, have information about the approver. So this is the user, Christian Parry, who is set to be the approver, and it was last updated 2 hours ago. So you get that information. Here we see the days it has stayed in this column. So these have been there for a while. So, but we see that 965 days in column. Typically, this will not be the case. Maybe 3 days, 2 days, or whatever. But you get a sense of how many days this has been there. So quickly, you may be able to comment or reach out to someone and say, this has been there for a while. We should probably be looking at it. And then we see the priority, we see the assignee here. So just quickly expand this. So the developer comes, he opens this, he's working on it, but he needs some information. He needs something from someone else. He can add a comment right from here. So I select this, and then he can add mention a user. So let's add, say, Alana. Can you help me? Can you help me with the new designs? And there are a number of editing features here that he can use, but I'll just leave this as that. This is fine with me. He saves it, and this immediately sends a notification to Alana Grant. It will send a notification to her via email, via the JIRA app itself. So this interface can see it from your notifications. So Alana would go here to see this notification. If she has the mobile app installed, she can also get the notification right on a mobile app. So there are a number of ways. She'll receive an email notification. She'll get a JIRA website, a web application notification, and then the mobile app notification as well. So it's really hard to miss a notification if you're set up on JIRA. So she would have to have a really good excuse for why she wouldn't have responded in due time. And so this is how users can collaborate. And so she can just quickly come in here and say, all right, and then drop comments. She can add attachments to it as well. And let's look here. We see linked issues. So these are all issues, all other issues, or all other stories or tasks that are linked with this. And Eamon also talked about how different teams, not just for software teams, but how other teams can collaborate on the same project. So we're working on the same product. Obviously, developers are doing their thing. Marketers are also preparing campaigns, whatever. The design team's probably also working on their things. So there are a number of different teams that are working towards the same goal. And so it would be useful to be able to group some of them or link some issues to others. And so we see that here, this particular issue, this read handwriting or signature screen, this story is linked with a number of issues here. This one is not in this project, it's in a marketing project. So campaign, production document, product documentation, marketing campaign launch. These are all tasks in different projects that different teams are working on, but we're able to see them here as linked issues. And so we're able to collaborate. And very quickly, the user can open this and leave a comment if he has to. There's the flexibility to also adjust the status of this. Right from inside here, I can attach a document, a file, whatever that I need to attach, an image if it's required. I can create subtasks from here. You can link the issue from this. Then there are a number of things. You can link a page as well, add more context with descriptions. We have different options to do this. And so we see here pages that are linked, other links that have been connected with this particular issue. And then I want us to take a look at the development here. And so this is development information. We have set this up with our development tool, which is Bitbucket. You could do this with GitHub and other tools, other DevOps tools. So for DevOps reasons, it's quite useful to be able to do that link, to integrate with your tools. And so we've done that here, and we see that this particular task is a read handwriting. There's one branch that's been created on it. We can also see here one commit has been made. There's one pull request, which is open, which you saw a little bit earlier. We can just hover to get a little more information. And then one build was successful, and that shows here with this. And we can jump into these right from here, so the developer can just jump. And this will give some more details. So you can see the branches here. This is the branch. In this project, we can see commits, we can see pull requests. This is a very nifty tool, especially if it's a software team. They're developing, they're writing code, they're pushing code. You need to be able to track these inside your JIRA. So to be able to connect this is very useful. So this is where we'll be able to do that. So the developer has a number of options once they're able to open and expand it. The next thing we'll look at is components. And this is typically you want to group work into, say, features, some components that you need to build. You would like to group stories that will come together to build these components. So you would create them here. So very quickly you come into components, and then you can do that, just create a component. It's fairly straightforward. Let's say login screen, for example. I'll just say the component lead should be Mitch, and the default assignee should be this. So if we create a story and we say that it belongs to this component, it should automatically be assigned to Mitch. We can just do that, save it. And then once we update issues to be of this component, this will also be updated. So that's the components feature. And then there's the code feature as well. So look at this development side. We've already seen this a bit, but this is basically where you connect your development tool with JIRA. So this is where we came to connect it See, there's Azure DevOps here, which is connected, but we're not using that. We're using Bitbucket, connected a number of repositories. There's a history of what we've done. So it's a pull request that was done here. So you come to this site for all the information about the development that's happening. And then we have project pages here. And this is where you connect your project with your documentation tool. So in Jira, this is Confluence. It's connected with it. You do not have to dive outside of Jira to be able to create documentation. So right from here. So this is also very useful in the planning stage, where you probably need to be creating like requirements documentation. People have to be editing them. Maybe you have to create a support documentation, etc. You'll be able to do that from this side. From the pages side. So just quickly, you can connect to a page, to a space inside your documentation tool, which is Confluence in this case, and then be able to create documents right from inside your project, but without having to jump out. So for the sake of time, I'll just very quickly touch on workflows because I mentioned it earlier. We go into the project settings. We have the flexibility to adjust permissions, adjust notifications, so how notifications are received, who has access to what, who has access to the project, the roles they play. We can configure all that here, and then come to workflows. So we have a fairly simple workflow builder. We can just quickly move things around, add a status out. So there's a very visual way of interacting with the workflows. There's no code required. So just move things around. If you have to connect some with certain transitions, you can do that. It's very easy to do. Once you've done that, you could just publish the workflow. So if you're encouraged to leave a copy, just ignore this. And that's that. You have updated the workflow. And so this is just a summary of some of the features that Jira software has that software teams can take advantage of. In our subsequent episodes or subsequent installments of this, we would like to dive into individual features. For example, how to connect with your GitHub or your other development tools, version management, monitoring deployment, etc. We can dive into that and talk specifically about that in one of our sessions. We also have the ability to explore connecting with your documentation tools. There are many ways we can go. We'll also be looking at how we can connect other teams. So how marketing teams, sales teams, etc., will be able to take advantage of Jira. So like this is very exciting. We're happy that we've been able to bring this to you. We'll organize something in our next installments. We'll be able to bring you more on other features. We're able to zoom into other things and talk about them. So I'll just very quickly bring this to an end. Okay, finally, let me just touch on this very quickly. Reporting feature. I can't believe I nearly skipped this. So reporting, this is where we'll be able to get agile reports. And so we have burnout charts, sprint reports, velocity reports. So you can be able to see, okay, how quick is the team going? Are we working within our capacity? Are we working according to the things that the estimates that we have made? We'll be able to get a lot of reports here. So if we look at this, for example, the burn down chart. You just have a quick one here, burnout chart. You'll be able to see what is happening. Let's look at the sprint report, for example. You're able to understand the tasks that have been completed. What's in the active sprint, what's been pushed into the backlog. See that. I have a nice overview of the status report here. So tickets, the status in which they are. You have issues completed. So you're able to get these various agile reports right from inside the project. But if you want to expand it, as Eamon talked about with dashboards, you'll be able to do even more with dashboards. We'll just quickly look at some examples here. So this is the engineering support dashboard. So you have different options here. We're able to use pie charts. You can have heat maps as well, different ways that you can represent your data here for other stakeholders to be able to track and see what's happening. So that's dashboards. You can have filters as well, which is very useful for teams, where you can organize, you can create a filter that will only show you certain tickets. Some teams always have to see certain tickets, and so you set up a filter, a query that will always bring you certain issues. So you can do that here, and you can use these filters to create your boards or use them to build your dashboards. And these are other features that in our next installment, we'll definitely be looking at. So I'll just end this here. Thank you very much for your time. And bye. I'll hand over to Joseph.
Wow, Calvin, thank you so much for this enlightening session. Yeah, I mean, sitting all back and pretty proud of the team. Very elaborate, straight to the point, and touching on the various agenda that we actually set for today's meeting. Nonetheless, just as we saw as this question, please, we were explaining how to spool a report. If you have any other questions that you want us to actually cover for the various resource persons, please you can actually type it in there. And I mean, don't shy away with your clubs, your club meetings. Please put it in there. I think the team actually deserve the flowers. Yeah. So any other question aside as this question? I'd be so glad if we have any other question, any question you want to ask. Just thank you so much. See the applause coming in. What's that question you want?
You do?
All right, so I think with Esther's question, Kwame actually touched ground amongst the very last session. So that actually has been cleared. But Esther, can you let us know if you were satisfied with that particular answer, or do you want Kwame to come again? Nonetheless, any other questions are actually welcome. And I'd love for us to do one last exercise before we actually roll down the curtains for this third webinar we just had. Okay, you are fine for now. Fantastic. But perhaps you have any other follow-up questions. Please do reach out to the mails that sent you your confirmation, and as well as your link to the webinar. And I mean, OnPoint is always here to serve. Yes, you can get a recording after the meeting. We'll make that available in the thank you mails that we'll be pushing to you. Yeah, boy, you registered with the link, right? Like you came via our registration portal, right? Because I see some of us actually joined in with just the Zoom link, which makes it somewhat difficult to actually trace the emails. But nonetheless, we'll make that available. Thank you very much, Yabon. Thank you very much. Before we go, can we know the number of us that actually use JIRA at our various workplaces? If you currently execute JIRA, you join through the link. All right. Thank you very much, Yabon. Thank you. So I'll reach out to you with. I mean, there's a blast that we'll have that will get you the recording. But back to the question I was asking, are there any of us that actually deploy JIRA at our various workplaces? Or perhaps any tool from our last year? Can we get to know that response in the comments section? If you use JIRA at work or any of the tools from the last institute, please, in a quick 60-second run, would be drawing down. Okay, Esther. So Calvin is saying he uses JIRA. Interesting. Thank you. Okay, Matthew, Esther. Thank you so much. And I see a board too. Yes, you use JIRA. System admin, so definitely use it. Okay, fantastic, Brenda. Thank you very much. That's great. And so here's what I'm going to do. I'm dropping in a community link, and I'd be so glad if we can all just I mean, for the team that actually use Jira, okay, to please join in. Please join in. Yeah. Will you have more elaborate courses by any chance, please? Yeah. So this is actually a webinar series, and the last webinar series, so we'll talk everything Jira. And moreover, we actually have the Sprint podcast that even extends the conversation beyond the office into I mean the whole Jira or IT service management conversation, and touching ground on other things that happen with OnPoint as well. So this webinar is actually proudly sponsored by OnPoint, and yeah, you can follow our social media handles as OnPoint Africa, OnPoint Limited for Malta, OnPoint Czech Republic, and that's OnPoint CZ. Yeah, so that's the link for them that actually use the Jira. So I see Esther responded, Matthew responded, Yeboah responded, and Brenda. So please kindly hit the link and join the community, and we'll do well to follow up with some interesting conversations after here. Yeah, and yeah, so lastly, in one word, has this webinar been helpful? In one word, has this webinar been helpful? And what exactly are you taking with you from this particular experience? Just in one word, has this webinar been helpful? Yes, no. What exactly did you learn? What exactly is your take home from this thrilling experience we just had with the help of Calvin and also Amen? I'd be glad if you would please type something. So Brenda, yes, will come away with more advanced elaborate courses. Yeah, that's why we actually needed to join the WhatsApp community. The link I just placed on there, and then would definitely reach out. On our subsequent webinar meetings that will be happening, we'll have the more elaborate. Fantastic, right? Thank you very much. Right says insights with us. You could actually type down your take home points, but in one word, just let us know if this webinar has been helpful. I mean, by that, you fuel us to actually do more. So if we have more than 10 responses, I'll be so glad. If it's just bright, then it means that, yes, it was, but like but like to have more. All right, Esther, I see Oliver Twist. We'll give you more. We'll give you more. There's more in store, and we're super excited that you actually want to jump on board. Thank you very much, Esther. So I'm hoping to hear responses. Oh, I see. I mean, Maureen, Samuel, Peter, Douglas, Abdurazak, Doreen, Abella, Matthew, Cheryl, Brenda, Okichuku, Stella, Lucille, Honey, Richard. Please let us know in one word, has this webinar been fruitful? And we wrap down in the next 60 seconds. We wrap up very soon. Okay, I see Richard saying informative, fantastic. I see Cheryl. Thank you very much, Cheryl. It was enlightening, sorry. And from Matthew, informative. We need to upgrade for sure. Yeah. In fact, come to the bright side. Come to the bright side. Educative. Thank you, Peter. Okay. And so nonetheless, if your firm wants training on, I mean, specific things you want, expertise consultancy, sorry, on the many things, what exactly we're speaking up about here, or anything with regards to the last institute, OnPoint is here to help. Thank you very much, Lucy. Thank you very much, Benjamin. Just reach out to us at accounts at OnPoint, and we'll be so glad to help you out. Yeah. I think I already mentioned that we are Go Solution partners to Atlassian. So I mean, we walk, talk, breathe, eat, and drink Jira. So reach out to us and we'll sort you. Thank you very much, Ikichuku, for your feedback, your response. And I think we can finally call it a day. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining on today's thrilling webinar. And I'm super excited we're able to do this together. Thank you so much for registering once you saw the links that were put out there, the event blast, and we're so grateful to having you. And I mean, we even look forward to the next one that will be happening soon. Thank you so much, and please enjoy the rest of your day. Yeah, thank you.